Hello everybody and welcome back to Dr. Ghost Games. If y'all are new to the channel, welcome. I am Dr. Ghost and I make content for the game World of Warships Legends. Today's video we're going to be in the Tier 7 Premium American carrier USS Saipan. Now keep in mind everybody that this is my very first match in the Saipan. Now we are joined by a division mate, Simpin 8 Easy 1. He is going to be in the Fletcher. Now, he's not going to have the greatest game in the world by any means, but we'll try to support him to the best of our ability. Now, keep in mind that this video is not going to have a whole lot of damage because this is my very first game, so keep that in mind, guys. So, yeah. But I'm going to talk about this ship. I've played a good, I have played about a good 20 matches in this ship, and I think I have a pretty good idea on what it is kind of supposed to do. Now, real quick, I would like to, of course, remind you guys to go down there, hit that like button. If you guys are new to the channel, don't forget to also subscribe. I try to put up content every single day for you guys in the week. Today is Friday. Also, look out for another video later on. We're going to be playing some Minecraft, episode 1. So keep in mind, guys, if you guys want to watch a new series on the channel, my Minecraft Let's Play, that should be coming up here very shortly, not too long after I post this video for you guys. Now, with all that being said, once again, thank you guys for the support and the continued support. I can't thank you all enough. But with that being said, let's talk about the Saipan. Now, speaking of, Jesus Christ, guys, look at those laser torps we just had. Now, that does not happen very often, okay? That was lucky as crap right there. But we just smacked that dude for 18,000 damage with the torpedoes. Now, the thing with the Saipan, okay? The Saipan has a very unique thing of dropping 4 torpedoes. So 2 planes, you have an attack squadron of 2 planes, and each plane is carrying 4 torpedoes, or sorry, each plane is carrying 2 torpedoes. So you can get a total of 4 torpedoes off each drop, and you have a potential to get maybe even another set of 4 off if you can be lucky enough, and you know, if the target you're going after does not have very good AA. Now, this carrier, the Saipan, it is basically an American Kaga. Like, it's basically the Americans' answer to the Kaga. Now, the Kaga, I won't lie, is definitely a much better destroyer hunter. Noriko and I had a bit of a heated discussion over on the last video, in the, I think it was in the, what actually were we in? I think, oh, we were in the Surov, that's right. Me and him had a heated discussion, and I've come to the realization that he's actually pretty right. Saipan is actually quite good at hunting DEs because the planes can just go so low. So if you're watching this, Noriko, you were right on that, pretty much, I would have to say. Yeah. However, the Saipan is by no means, like, in my experience, okay, hear me out, everybody, for this. The Saipan, in my experience, the 20+ matches I've played in this thing, it is not a DD hunter. Believe me when I say this, I've only hit a destroyer once with my bombs. Okay, with my bombs. The bombs are horribly inaccurate. They're even worse than Kaga by like a long shot. They drop so high and they're so inconsistently inaccurate. Do not depend on the bombs at all to hunt destroyers. It is literally hit or miss like 100% of the time. So don't depend on those at all. However, the torpedo bombers is where the Saipan really shines. However, keep in mind, guys, you still can use your bombs, FYI, on like battleships and cruisers. Even cruisers are sometimes hit or miss, but yeah. Destroyers, it's a lot more challenging to hit destroyers with your bombs. But anyways, going back to the torpedoes. The torpedo bombers are pretty good. They are very good, actually. And if you could potentially get a cross-torp with them, you have the capability of actually potentially launching 8 torpedoes off on one target. That's nasty. The problem with the Kaga is you can only get a maximum, on average, about 1 strike off, which is about 4 torpedoes. So you're not ever really, on very, very rare instances, you might actually get 2 strikes off with your Kaga torp runs. But in the Saipan, however, it's actually not that uncommon to actually get 2 strikes off with your torpedo bombers, so keep that in mind. Now, the health on the torpedo bombers, it's pretty good. It's American, so they actually have a bit more health than the Japanese, for example. But yeah, it is pretty good. And the bombers, of course, have pretty good HP as well, just because they're American. But keep in mind, though, the planes are a bit slower, and the concealment's pretty bad as well. So keep that in mind, everybody. Now, so yeah, the torpedo bombers are really good. The thing I don't like about them, though, is like, hold on, here's an example, by the way, of the bombs. Like, I know I'm launching from across, but look how wide those were. Gosh, guys, I don't know. I do not like the bombs on these American on this American carrier. If you're going to play for bombs, go play the Lexington. The Lexington's a much better bomber, a much better dive bomber. But if you're going to try to torpedo plane people, the Saipan is a really good ship for that. And I think the Saipan, guys, the Saipan is like the Americans' answer to damage hunting. The Saipan is like a damage hunter, as bad as that sounds, but really the Saipan values like getting on people's broadsides and torpedoing them to death. Now, don't get me wrong, you still can hunt destroyers with this thing. If a destroyer does actually screw up, you can screw over destroyers with this thing, and you can still spot them. So still, even though you can't really hunt destroyers in this thing very well, you still can spot them for your team. And you still could maybe get lucky and maybe hit some bombs, but that's very, very hit or miss. And you could also maybe hit them with your torpedoes. I have hit destroyers a few times with these torpedoes. The problem with the Saipan's torpedoes is they're very wide. There's a lot of gaps for the destroyers to potentially torpedo beat through. So keep that in mind. But nonetheless, guys, the Saipan will absolutely eat up cruisers and battleships. If they're just sailing in a straight line, oh my gosh, this thing will feast on people that are just sitting, and you're gonna absolutely smack the crap out of people. And speaking of smacking the crap out of people, we just got our first kill, by the way. But yeah, so overall, I think the Saipan's a good ship, but it's not the greatest at destroyer hunting by any means. It's just, it kind of struggles a little bit. But don't get me wrong, against everything else, it is pretty good, actually. And I think the Saipan is a really good pick. Do I think it's better than Kaga? Now, this is a really, really hard choice, because it's in the Bureau. It's in the Bureau. It's the other option. Honestly, I think the Saipan's unique. Like, it's a unique ship. It's quite unique, and it's got different stuff going for it. So really, I don't think I can compare it to it, but if I had to say if the Saipan is better than Kaga, I think it's not better than Kaga. I think the Kaga is better, just because that the bombers are a lot more accurate, just because they can go so much lower, and that in of itself increases your accuracy of your bombs. Just so you can get, it's just because you can get that low. I don't know. But either way, in my Kaga, I still don't hit bombs anyway, regardless. Just my luck with bombs in general is, I would say the Kaga is a better ship for bombing. However, for torpedo bombing, this is a hard choice, but I think that the Saipan does it better. Like, it really does. The Saipan's torpedo bombers are just no joke. But honestly, they're pretty equal too, I'd say, because the Japanese have the increased damage on their torpedoes, so I don't know. I think it's actually kind of a toss-up, really. The Kaga and the Saipan are pretty well balanced, I'd say, but this is just in my experience, everybody. Like, I don't know. A lot of people think this is overpowered, and I even thought this thing was overpowered at one point. But just because I played it here and there now, and like I'm kind of feeling like it's not that overpowered for me. It actually feels surprisingly average. However, those 4 torpedoes are they're really, really deadly. Like, I can't lie about that. The 4 torpedo drops are awesome. They're deadly as crap. Hitting people for 15+K damage is really nice. Yeah. Now, let's talk about the carrier itself for a bit. The AA, it's not the greatest. Now, keep in mind the Saipan is a Cleveland. It's a converted Cleveland hull. So if you look closely on the Saipan, it actually does have a Cleveland hull, but they just flew a freaking flight deck on the top of it. They plopped one on it and made it into a carrier. So yeah, now the AA on the Saipan, not the greatest at all. Don't really depend on that too much, but it's still there. It is still carrier AA, and you still have fighters up here and there. So I mean, still. Yeah, it still can be quite good, though. It is American, so you still got them 40mm Bofors, I think, all over the place. So, I mean, A is all right, but it's not like an Iowa or anything, and it doesn't even compare to Lexington. Now, the maneuverability and the speed of the Saipan, I'm actually not aware of the speed or maneuverability of it, but I think it's probably average. If I had to guess, it's probably in the 27, 28 knot range. I have no idea. I haven't actually looked at this, but I'm sure you guys could do the investigating yourself. But it's a carrier. It's not like you're really gonna be caring about your speed that much anyway. So yeah. But yeah, I don't know, guys. I like the Kaga, but I do like the Kaga, but I like the Saipan. But honestly, it seems surprisingly average for me. That's just my thoughts, though. You guys have your own opinions, I'm sure, as well. You guys really might like it. You guys might think it's overpowered, and you guys are all entitled to your opinions. But for me, the Kaga just is not that broken. But in certain situations, however, this thing can definitely be a little bit broken. Like the 4 torpedo drops is just, ugh. That's disgusting. And when you can get like 8 of them off, oh my god. And on top of that, when you come out like a battleship with your bombers, man, the Saipan will absolutely ruin battleships if they aren't like paying attention and they're not turning into your torpedo sets or anything like that. And this thing will really, what the Saipan values is broadside targets. Like, if you can get people that are broadside, that's how you're going to have a lot of success with the ship. Slamming people with your torpedoes. And when they go bow into you, that's when you come in with the bombers and get fires and get that American HE damage with the American HE bombs. So, I mean, yeah. But, that's about it, guys. That's my thoughts on the Saipan. I think it's a good ship, but I don't think it's anything crazy, honestly. I think it's pretty average, but in certain situations, the Saipan can be really, really good. So, I don't know. But, nonetheless, guys, if you've made it this far into the video, we're 10 minutes in. I appreciate you all. Don't forget to go down there, hit that like button, subscribe, comment down below, all the support. Seriously, guys, it's greatly appreciated. I can't thank you all enough. And we're already almost a quarter of the way to 800 subscribers. We've just gotten 20 in the last few days, so that's crazy in of itself. And remember, guys, to look out for another video later on. We're going to be playing some Minecraft. It's not going to be live or anything. It's just going to be a video. We're starting a new series, so make sure to check that out as well. And yeah, and I hope you have a great weekend. And at this point now, we're just waiting for this match to end. Not much else left to do. It's just an enemy Saipan. We're actually going to come in here and bomb them. And here's actually a pretty good example of what the bombs can do. Like, there's still American bombs at the end of the day, guys. And yeah, boom. We smacked them pretty hard there. 9999 exact damage. And also, I can actually look at the speed here. Yeah, around 26 knots right now. We could probably go up to 30 if I had to guess. I mean, it is a Cleveland hull at the end of the day. But, yeah, so sorry, guys, also in this video if I've been rambling on. That's because with carriers, there's really not much to talk about. Carrier gameplay is pretty boring to talk about in of itself. But, yeah, guys, is there anything else to say, really? I don't think so. Oh, wait. There's the Graf Zeppelin also that's coming, isn't there? I'm probably going to do another video on that later on. I'm not going to talk about that in this video. But Zeppelin, I guess, has been spotted out in the waves, so that's interesting. But, yeah. So we're just waiting for the match to end. We got about a minute left, if I had to guess. The Saipan's almost dead. So, yeah, guys. Yeah. So let's just wait here. Now, notice he's turning in. Now, one way to counter the Saipan's torpedo bombers is just to turn in. Like, if you can turn in, you can limit the amount of damage you'll take. Just because the Saipan's torpedoes are so damn wide. Like, the spread is super wide. So, if you turn in, there's a good chance you might only take a maximum of, like, 1 or 2 torpedoes. Like, that's how easy it is to just counter the Saipan. If you want to avoid a Saipan, when they're coming at you with the torpedo bombers, turn in, and when they're coming at you with the dive bombers, turn broadsides. That way, the bombers, you know, aren't as accurate because they're coming across. You know what I mean? Anyways, though, I don't know. That's just my take on it. But that's about it, I think. We finish off at 46,000 damage. 1 kill, not too bad. We had a bunch of spotting ribbons, too. We helped the team, ultimately, and that's the most important thing, is spotting and all that stuff. But nonetheless, everybody, that's it. That's the end of the video. Like, comment, subscribe, all the support, greatly appreciated. I've said it enough. And, yeah, we were second on the leaderboard, 2.6k base. Not bad at all, if I have to say myself. But anyways, guys, be kind to one another. Peace out, stay healthy, as always, and take care.